This episode is going to have post commentary because, in my time honored tradition, I fucked up the audio recording. Effectively, I hadn't noticed that my laptop spontaneously stopped recording from the Yeti microphone, which is what brings you my sweet, sultry voice, and instead decided to record from its own onboard microphone, which A, sucks, and B, only activates when we are speaking above a certain decibel threshold. And so when I was listening to it in playback, there was just occasional peaks of us when we were at our loudest moments, and then dead silence. So that was fucked up. Anywho, the first half of this video is going to be death montages, because there were a lot of them. The second half is going to be sped up 2 times, because I got tired of doing death montages, and frankly got lazy. So right now we were fucking around. Not even fucking around, we were legitimately trying to do this, where we need to hop over these mines, which is very hard to do, as we've demonstrated. Turn off this, go back. You'll see that scrotum hanging down below. There are rocks. Right here, I think we realized we need to go back and get rocks, so that we can throw those rocks at these mines. Oh god. I can't believe how quickly we turned on this game. It was quite fun. It was quite fun. Yeah, I don't know why we bothered trying that. Maybe just out of desperation. Oh, this part right here, I had the suspicion that there had to be an option to press a button to allow you to hop. Fortunately, there is. It's very hard to see because it's all the way at the bottom of this tapestry of skin, and they didn't actually light the various options themselves. But if we'd had this option turned on from the start, it would have made certain parts of this game much, much easier. And that was my phone going off because I'm such a professional. So now, you see, the way it was set up before, the way it's set up by default, you press X and Abe will jump straight up. He'll just do his vertical leap, which is stupid because you can do that by also pressing up, which makes more sense. But there was no dedicated hop button before. You had to press forward and then hop. So you needed to time it in such a way that Abe would jump before taking a step forward. If you were a little bit off, he would take a step forward, and then you would often find yourself stepping right into a mine. It didn't make the game... Turning on this option did not make this game more fun. There are still significant design flaws here, which show an almost, I don't want to say flagrant disregard for the design choices of the original game, but probably just an innocent misunderstanding of those design choices. As though the designers were compensating for what they thought were problems, but were not. The comparison I continually draw throughout our playthrough of this game is Resident Evil, the original, and the remakes. Because the remakes gave you the ability to control the game using an analog stick, as opposed to using the D-pad tank controls, which defined the series up until Resident Evil 4. That is, Resident Evil 4 was the first one not to have them. You know, a lot of people will give crap to the original Resident Evil games because of their, air quotes, clunky tank controls. But the thing is, they aren't clunky. They're precise. They exist for a very specific reason, and that reason is to oh man, look at that. Look at that stupid death. The reason they exist is to compensate for moving in 3-dimensional space in a game with incredibly dynamic camera angles, where if your movement direction was relative to where the camera was, you would often have no idea where to press in order to move forward, to move back, to move left, to move right, etc. And in a game where you have very tight corridors and you're often being chased by even very slow zombies, the ability to always move forward when you need to move forward is critical. And this is me playing right now. I wanted to destroy all of these mines just to be thorough. I just didn't want to take the chance. There's a checkpoint right there, and I didn't want to fucking take the chance of dying right here and doing that whole section over again. Because it wasn't fun. I don't know how many times we did it. I don't know how many moments of footage I just simply cut out, but it was substantial. And this next part coming up is no better either. See, first we have those little slogs. Those are easy enough, you just gotta run from them. I want to take a moment. Here we go. Try and do some of Abe's sweet parkour skills. I say those slogs are easy, but then they're the first thing to kill me in this section. Oh, kitty, you want me to scratch your belly? I'll scratch your belly, kitty. And then we got here and we had no idea what to do. Obviously, you have those mines down there, and then you have an electrical force field up there. So, it seems we need to proceed onto that ledge with the slig. He kills us a bunch. And then we notice that there's this lever here. So we need to pull that lever, obviously. But we can't go up on that ledge on the left because there are mines, which means we need to go up on this ledge on the right. And this motherfucker just would not return to his nap. Come on, take your nap. Come on, do it. Oh. At this point, we had the sneaking controls down, at least. At the very least, we had that down. Sneak, sneak, sneak. Sneak, sneak, sneak. Of course, though we had sneaking down, we still don't have those mines down. So here we go. We tried to climb up there just to see if it would work. It didn't. Eventually made our way to this. We pulled the lever, and then dead. Try it again. We actually tried it quite a few times. I think we gave up on trying to press the mine and decided we would just blow it up and then wait for this guy to take his nap. Yeah, there you go. See, what you need to do is pull that lever, then hang from this ledge, right? However, that very last mine that you saw there, I didn't include this death, but that very last mine that you saw there is just high enough that it will hit your feet and kill you. So you need to let the first two pass under you, and then pull Abe up just before the last one passes underneath you, or else you're fucked and have to do the whole thing over again. So I'm really not certain how the quick save function works in this particular game. I remember in Abe's Exodus on the PS1, the quick save, you could just use it and save your position wherever you were at. I assumed it would work similarly here, but we tried using it one time and it did not. It could be that we didn't use it correctly. I obviously we're dumb and we're terrible at video games. But Matthew Matosis mentioned the quick save in his review of this game, or rather his comparison of this game with the original game, and said that it trivialized the checkpoint system, but we weren't able to make use of it. We needed those checkpoints. And we did need to know where the checkpoint was. If nothing else, for a sense of relief. Because it was really, really frustrating to go through this game and find out that, oh, we had to do a whole section over again. Whereas when we finally hit a checkpoint, we could finally breathe. My favorite part of this whole game. Abe's too. Huh. I wonder if there's stuff over to the right that we didn't explore. Probably just some Mudokons for us to kill. And now here I'm simply speeding things up. It was not... like, it wasn't worth it to keep doing the death edits, frankly. See? We died right there because Abe just wouldn't stop. He wouldn't stop. The way Kurt described it at one point during, I think, this playthrough, which is unfortunate because that means that we lost the audio, is it's like Abe is stuck in mud, except when he moves, and then it feels like he's sliding on ice. It's awful. It's just awful. Oh dear. Oh dear. But we do have a small advantage now. You see, eventually we realized that, hey, that area off to the right, that area seems to be optional. We don't need to save all these Mudokons. We don't actually care about saving them. And we don't mind getting a bad ending. So, you know, why not let these fuckers die? Why do the extra hard... Why go through this game the extra hard way when we can just let them all die? We still die a whole bunch. Believe me, we die a lot, but we die far fewer deaths once we stop caring. Once we start actively murdering Mudokons because it's funny. Like that guy. We could have easily saved that guy. No trouble at all. Didn't want to. Just didn't want to. Then we get this place, which is a little bit too bright. I don't know why there's all this fire and molten metal. It doesn't make sense. This is a meatpacking plant. It's visually striking, and it gives you an excuse to have these nice deep shadows, but those don't... I guess they're furnaces to cook the meat, but you just kind of see the same rib cages over and over moving back and forth, but they don't seem to be getting cooked. All the meat you see in this game is raw, red, and dripping. And for some reason there's that guy in the background. I have no idea why. Why isn't he helping? Why is it entirely on us? And we had no idea what to do here at first. That big green screen is a Slig voice recognition, which is the equivalent of the Mudokons that won't let Abe pass until he does his little whistle, whistle, whistle fart routine. Except here, it's like... kind of like squeezing a duck over and over. We die. We die a lot. We still die a lot, like I said. It's just that once we stop caring about Mudokons, we die less. See, a good chunk of this game, there are very few Mudokons to actually save. It's all about just getting through the obstacles. And that means that they make the obstacles themselves very difficult. For much of the last third or quarter of this game, however long the return to Rupture Farms is, the challenge mostly comes in saving the Mudokons. Getting through particular areas can still be very difficult, but it's getting through an area in such a way which allows you to save the Mudokons, which makes them the most difficult. For instance, you can easily possess a Slig and then kill all the other Sligs and then blow up the other Slig that you had, and then you're fine. You can just pass through unmolested. But there will be Mudokons everywhere, and so if you just open fire, well, you're going to kill them. You get around that by giving orders to the Mudokons to get down, and then killing the Sligs, and ordering the dogs in such a way that they don't kill anyone, but that's a lot of work. That's too much work. And at this point, we didn't feel this game deserved that much work. So, we stopped caring. And we started killing. There's a lesson there, I guess. Sorry about the lack of audio in this part. I don't know why it didn't transfer over. It ought to have. Simply didn't. The editing platform I'm using now, on my laptop at least, is Cyberlink Power Director 14, which is pretty nice, actually. I still prefer Premiere, but obviously Premiere is hundreds of dollars for the standalone version, or like $25 a month if you want to lease it, and I'm not about to lease it. So I bought Cyber Director Power 14, which is a little clumsy, it doesn't have all the functionality I would like, or I'm guessing it does have the functionality, but I'm not certain how to use it. For instance, I don't know how to make what would be the equivalent of sequences within Premiere. It could be that it doesn't have that capability at all, but I assume it does. I have no idea where that slid came from, by the way. He just kind of dropped out of goddamn nowhere. They literally just come out of nowhere. Awesome. But I'm getting quite good with Power Director 14, so I can produce these videos much quicker than when I was first stumbling around with it. Here we're speaking of stumbling around, we are trying to figure out what the fuck this thing is and how it works and what the slig equivalent of the farts are. Oh, in this part right here, I crank the music volume all the way down because it's just this heavy industrial bullshit, and the audio mixing in this game is so poor that I couldn't actually hear the slig or this screen over the music audio. It's going so just went in there and turned that shit right off. In fact, turn the music off right from the start if you play this game. I don't know if it's the music from the original game or if they've done new music. I'm assuming they've done new music for it. Because, oh god, the music they use over the end credits, which you're going to see shortly, is fucking awful. But just turn it off. It doesn't add anything to the game, which is unfortunate. 20 seconds left. There we go. Now we're through this part. Just sprint to the end, and there's the audio back, because now it's at regular speed. There we go. Alright, the next episode is going to be the same way. It's a little bit shorter. See you then.